And finally, this is a trick from old NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Identification of sensory preference was first done by Virginia Satir. It was stolen by lots of people and they claimed that it was their own afterwards. But I think, as far as I could ever research, that Virginia Satir was the first. This just means, does the person speak in certain channels? And when we're talking about sensory preference, we have a visual preference, which is on the left side of your screen. So we see lots of visual descriptions and visual identification words. In the middle, we hear the auditory. And on the far right, which is less common, this makes up about 20% of the population, we have the feeling people. And guess what? If I identify somebody as a visual person, guess what words I'm going to start using in that conversation? It's all going to be visual. And this is another thing that comes up in the first couple of minutes. We hear someone describe a vacation. Now we also get to identify their sensory preference. We hear them talk about their new job, their employment, what they do for a living, how long they've lived here, whether or not they're from this city. They're going to use sensory words. And we're going to use the same ones that they use. Now, thinking back to just a hard sale or a really tough negotiation, the negotiation comes to a head, or the guy decides to confess in the interrogation room right when they accidentally use the right sensory words, the right pronouns, a couple of adjectives that that person was familiar with or that they enjoyed. You will see how we accidentally, every time we succeeded and said that it was because of our training or something else, we just persevered to the end. It's typically because we accidentally say something right. And it resonates with that person on a subconscious level. So now we're just getting to the point where we can do it on purpose and on command. So we go from a 14-hour interview to get a confession to 24 minutes. And we go from a 48% success rate to 98. 98 is my current success rate in interrogation in under 28 minutes. 98% confession rate. True confessions. I should throw that caveat in there. So we need to identify sensory preference. It's a big deal. And as we're going through the conversation, I want you to envision this or imagine this as if you were a robot and you had that like Terminator T-1000 vision where it had all the data and stuff scrolling on the screen. I personally do this. And if they say brilliant, I will write that word out right there. I have it there in front of me, but I have a little whiteboard there in my vision. And I will visually have that word written out there. And if you're a feeling person, I have some of my clients who had trouble with this. If your hands are just clasped like this, you can reach across with your opposite thumb and draw that word. If you see that they're visual, I'll just do a V-I-S, and it helps me remember it. I can feel it on my palm. I can feel it being written with my thumbnail. And that's great for feeling people. Visual people, which I am, I have a complete visualization of these words. And even if I forget a few of them, I'm still using a majority of what that person said. And I forget them a lot. I forget them all the time. But I at least hear 2 or 3 and save those until the end of the conversation when I'm going to bring them back up. Those are the words that person responds to.